Gravity is all that I know. She's over me. She's over me. She caught me with her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing out there? I am Brent Thomas, and you are watching the Night Terrors of the Paranormal Portal. This is our nightly in-between long shows show, roughly about an hour long in case you're new to it, and welcome. And we do kind of ghost stories mostly, but we do a lot of other stuff here on the Night Terrors as well. But I hope you guys are doing great. Happy Monday. It was a holiday today, so I guess you all must have manifested a great day if you're in the U.S. because it was Martin Luther King Day, I guess, is what I've heard, and I'm certainly not degrading that at all. It's just that I'm usually not sure about the whole calendar thing and what days are when and all of that. It's just kind of my own dyslexia, that along with names. So I didn't know that. But last night I said, hey, put good energy forward that tomorrow's going to be a great day. And I guess you guys did great because we got a holiday. I mean, what the hell? That's a win. I'll count that as a win. But hope you guys are doing great. Thanks so much for being here and joining me on the show. Hope you had a great extended weekend day. I did. I had a good day. I was very productive. So that was lovely for me. I needed to be because I'd kind of just been in it's kind of got cabin fever. I'm really jonesing for some spring and this time of year all the time during the winter. I get just really lethargic and a lot less motivated than normal. So, but I pushed through it today and had a productive day and got a lot of things done. So I'm feeling like I won. Today I won. So I hope you guys won whatever you did as well. But this is the Night Terrors. The phone lines will be open throughout the duration of the show. If you'd like to call in with something paranormal of your very own, please feel free. 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. You can call in and be a part of tonight's show. Thank you, Julia. If you have something paranormal that you'd like to share, but you don't want to call in and do the live show, but you're willing to write an email, please do. Or if you want to be a guest on the podcast and share your story there with us, please email us at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. Again, paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. And look at the chat because Julia's posted it in there and you can see that. And that'll get you in touch with us. And thank you, mods, for all the postings. I appreciate that. It's lovely when I look up and see the things I'm talking about posted on the screen. You guys are ace. I'm telling you. But what the hell else was I going to say? Oh, our very own Mr. Don Longbeard's been a very busy guy and has been working hard. And I wanted to showcase his efforts because he really did a really cool job. And this gets back to if you want to support the show. I mean, there's many ways you can do it. One of which is you can just donate. There's a PayPal link on the screen above me. I think it's over there. Let me look and see what I'm doing. Oh, it's over here. Over here, yep. There's a donate to paypal.me. Otherwise, there's Super Chat. Your donations really help a lot. The portal is, of course, a labor of love and blood, sweat, and tears and all of that. And it's not not inexpensive to do this kind of stuff, and it's certainly not inexpensive to get to where we want to be. So anything that you can do to help promote the show, whether it's just by being here and being a part of the shows, which is great, if it's just spreading the word on your social media about the show to people that you know, that's awesome. If it's monetarily, that's amazing too. But that's certainly one way. Another way is through the Paranormal Portal Paranormal Investigation Journal. If you're getting into paranormal investigating, doing some ghost investigating, this is our journal that we've put together, and myself and my friend Steve put this together, and it's essentially kind of a logbook for investigators to log experiences, log data regarding the journaling that you need to do, because proper investigating requires a good data set. And this is hopefully been outlined in such a way as you won't have trouble filling in those data points in order to for posterity's sake, to record your investigation. So, thank you, Aussie. I appreciate it, brother. That's amazing. Very, very cool. And you got somebody drinking a big cup of coffee as well. So, so that's another way. And this is available on Amazon.com, and the link is in the description below. So check it out. This journal, each one can log up to 24 or 25 investigations. So this is available on Amazon. It's our first foray into the Amazon world of publishing. So it definitely goes a long way to support the show, but this is what I wanted to get with today, because this is Don, who has been working hard, and he has developed some new portal gear. And let me get this on the screen so you guys can see what the beard has been doing, what the beard has been cooking. Can you smell what the beard's been cooking? This is it. This is our Teespring site, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the link is in the description. Don has been working on these new shirts and mugs and stuff. And let me pull one of these up so you can see what he's been doing. There it is. There's the brand new Paranormal Portal. It's got the OOs that's seen on Don's hat, a chrome world map, and 100%. It's kind of like a biker's vest, but instead of a 1% or a 3%er, it's 100%. 100% Paranormal Portal. It's the Paranormal Portal world as we know it. And so this is one design that's out here. Let me pull up another one. This one's pretty cool. This is the hoodie. And he's done a great job of this is on the back of the hoodie, that same design. But if you look at the front, it's got this really cool chrome-looking Paranormal Portal logo on the left front breast. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to get me one of these as well. That's pretty sexy, I think. But really good look. He's done a great job, and I definitely wanted to showcase that because he's been working hard on this kind of stuff. And there's lots of other gear here as well, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of other shirts and mugs and such. That sexy mug. There's more of these, the muscle shirts, the T-shirts, different T-shirt designs. This is a sticker, this one. And then he's got the chrome logo sticker as well, which, he's done a really good job. So I wanted to take a moment and give the long beard a nod on this, because it's a lot of hard work. And he's been punching the clock. And there's that sexy mug. It's got the great saying that I close every show with. So I don't know. I think it's good words to live by. But anyway, and on the other side, of course, is the logo. So lots of cool stuff. It goes a long way into helping support what we're doing. Oh, he called it Brent's mug. Brent doesn't even have his own mug, and that's kind of sad. I got to get my own mug. I need a bigger size, though, because I drink mass quantities of coffee. Cone heads. Anyway, but there's lots of stuff here to check out and look at if you're interested, and it goes a long way into helping us to perpetuate our vision for 2020 and the Paranormal Portal. So again, that's teespring.com/stores/paranormal-portal, and you'll find that link in the description below as well. So that is what I wanted to say on the front end. And sorry if this is sounding like an infomercial. It's just we got a lot of things we want to do this year, and it's going to take a lot to make those things happen. So any way you can help is greatly appreciated. And again, if it's just spreading the word, that's awesome. Amazing. I don't want anybody to feel compelled to do anything if it's not within your means to do that. Never what this is about. Just if you're able, great. If you're not, help us in some other way. Spread the word. Let people know about the show. The more successful and widespread the show is known, the better we'll do. So anyway, that's all I got on the front end here. So I hope you're ready because it's time for bed. All right. And Duke, I did hear from Dan today. Dan was the investigator that joined me last time at Coloma, and he's in. So put us to bed. Absolutely, Bomber. I'm going to do my best to put you to bed. I'll tuck you in and make you feel all safe and warm. Well, I might not be safe, but hopefully warm. After all, we are talking about the paranormal here. Oh man, my house has got like a huge pile of snow coming down. I put a video on facebook.com/Brent Thomas or Brent Thomas something, whatever the hell my Facebook is for Brent Thomas Facebook page. I put this video up there. I don't think I shared it over on the Paranormal Portal Radio, but check it out. It's just this huge. It's like these big ice teeth. It looks like my house is like closing its mouth and it's full of fangs. It's just wild. It's going to come down anytime. And when that one comes down, it's going to thump hard because it is like at least 4 feet of ice and snow packed. And then these big ice teeth. It's just crazy. It's a huge sheet that's just teetering there. And you know how the icicles form usually very vertically? Well, the ones, they've been sliding down, so now the teeth are at an angle like this, and it's really wild. So check it out. I put the video up there on the Brent Thomas page, so you can see it. And we'll have to see when that thing comes down. That's going to be a mess. But anyway, we've got some ghost stories lined up for you guys tonight. I hope to keep you wildly entertained throughout the course of this journey. If I'm doing my job, you'll feel entertained. If I'm not doing as well of a job, you might just enjoy yourself. But hopefully I do a good job. And thank you to everybody that's come in and to those of you that are continuing to come in. Let's take a look at who's here. I got Aussie Tiger, Black Tree, Bomber, Cha-Cha, Digger Dog, Elaine Clifford, Kathy Spencer, Lady Naga, Lindsay Bay, Moog Monster, what is that? 999 plus. I'm here. Really, Stacy, Private Eye, Suzanne Lucero O'Brien is here. Taco Violator, the Rotman, and the Duke is here. So I hope I didn't miss anybody. But thank you guys for being here and being a part of the show. That means the world. Haven't seen what the hell? Pharmacy Seeds. I wonder where he's gone. Have missed the man wherever the hell he is, but anyway, we'll have to find out where he went to. We'll hunt him down. We'll drag him back kicking. All right, so we've got the first story tonight is coming out of Illinois. There is an S at the end, so I'm determined to pronounce it. Otherwise, why include it? Why make kids learn to spell a sound that's not even there? That's what I'm saying. Okay, so Illinois, what's going on? 2 years ago, on January 31st, my mom passed away really unexpectedly. She went to bed, and when my father came in, he realized that she wasn't even breathing. We called an ambulance and spent 2 days in the hospital with her on life support before her body just finally stopped working. There was no warning that anything was even wrong, and to this day, the doctors are still baffled as to what caused her death. The only thing they could figure was that her heart just stopped. For my family and myself, the hardest part was we were never able to say goodbye to her. My older sister ended up taking a music box that was a coconut that had been cut in half and fitted with the workings of the musical box, and this belonged to my mom, and she had it ever since she was a little girl. However, the music box had not played in over 20 years, and part of the pieces that made it work had either fallen out or were so rusted that they could not move. Well, about a year later, on January 30th, I was at my sister's house by myself getting ready to go out with some of my friends. My sister lived closer than I did, so I decided to get ready there. As I was getting ready to walk past the dresser where the music box sat, it began to play. Now, we had tried winding the box and even taken it to get it fixed, and parts were missing, and it was really rusted, so it should not have played. I sat down on my sister's bed and listened to the music box for several minutes, and as I listened, I realized the tune was "You Are My Sunshine," which is what my mom always used to sing to me. After my sister came home, I told her what had happened, and she said that it had been playing on and off since early that morning. It never played for her, but it played for my nephew, who was 12 at the time, and who was also my mom's favorite. The music box played through January 31st, and then it never played again. We still have it, and we truly believe that a year later, when my mom came to finally say goodbye. I have several other stories about some of the experiences that I've had, and I will post them at another time, but thanks for reading this, and your input is really appreciated. That's a beautiful thing. I think that is just marvelous. Those are such poignant, amazing things when our loved ones come back and let us know that they're okay. All right, the next one is coming from California. It says, I have a spirit or ghost drawing on my mirrors. For several years now, we have suspected that my in-laws' home is actually haunted by a ghost or a spirit of some sort. And over the years, we've seen the spirit appear to be growing stronger with each day. First, we noticed small shadows here and there, then pictures moved, and over the last year, small furniture out of place, an occasional image seen out of the corner of your eye. We thought that it was a lady or a female, but I don't think so anymore. The last month or so, the hot water faucets in the hallway bathroom have been turned on, and a few weeks ago, the TV came on and a man's voice came out. But we couldn't understand what it said, but it was really freaky. A few days after the TV had spoken to us, an almost complete 8 was drawn on the screen. The symbol was on its side, and thinking that it's the symbol for infinity, but it wasn't complete, not a solid figure 8. Last night again, the symbol, but this time in the master bedroom. And that is above the room where the TV spoke and the first symbol was drawn. Strongly, the mirror had, it says strongly, but I think it means strangely. Strangely, the mirror had almost no dust. I tried to draw something on the mirror and had to just push hard for the marking to appear. So what is going on? Can you advise, please? Well, I don't know, but if it's getting stronger, you might want to have someone come over and look into it, get a hold of a psychic, someone that has sensitivity to such things, and see if they can figure out what you're dealing with. And again, this story's from 2008, so I sure hope they've got it sorted out by now, but that is really strange. It's not uncommon for spiritual activity to ramp up over a long period of time. It can, what is it? Maybe it's feeding on the people there. Maybe it's drawing energy from something or some activity in the home, some other manner. I don't know, but it seems for whatever reason, this family has triggered it and it is growing through some manner, in intensity. Is it good or bad? I don't know. I have no idea. But very strange. I guess it would, honestly, there's the big thing to take with you whenever you're checking into something paranormal is your own intuition. It really is. Like, we do have these sixth senses. We have the ability to feel when something's not right. And I think everybody listening to the sound of my voice can relate to the feeling that sometimes things just feel wrong and you don't know why. But they're not right. And, I really have learned to listen to that intuition, and it's never served me wrong. I've never been let down by that. Whenever I feel something is wrong, I pay close attention to that. And I think that that's the case when you have activity ramping up. Try to get yourself centered. If you're not sure how to meditate or anything, start learning how, so you can get yourself centered and just kind of get empty and feel what comes to you, kind of feel in your stomach, in your solar plexus area is where I experience those kind of vibes. And just, get centered and sit down and just feel. If something feels wrong, then probably something's wrong. And if it's an activity that's ramping up over time, the sooner you get in front of that, the better. You don't want to wait till it's all the way ramped up, and then you get to deal with something that's been charging over a number of years. That would be absolutely intense. So always be careful, but trust your intuition. You're going to feel if something's negative. We just are tuned to it. I'm just convinced of that that's some kind of survival mechanism that we've had throughout our development as a species or whatever, or however you want to look at this, or a gift from the divine that, we can tell when we're in the presence of something dark. So I think that there's a lot to that. So always trust those intuitions, those gut feelings, and with other people too. I mean, geez, sometimes you meet someone and you just know they're no good and you don't know why, but there's just a vibe just to stay back. Well, listen to it. Don't ever question those things. All right, the next one is coming from Washington State. In fact, that's the state that today's podcast guest was from, and we had welcomed Annie to the podcast today. And the episode is named "Tell Her I'm Alive," and just a great collection of experiences that she's had, both with UFOs and with spirits and the esoteric kind of stuff. And just really, really a wonderful episode. She had some really great insights, a wonderful person. It was a real pleasure to have a chance to talk to her. So if you haven't heard today's podcast episode, please check it out. I think you'll be plenty happy you did. And again, spread the word. Spread the word. Let them know we're out there. All right, the next one is Washington. As I said before, it says, my boyfriend and I decided to move into his family's old house on the Lumi Reservation. And when we arrived, his uncle led us down to the basement that had been converted into a bedroom. And in the far corner were a wood-burning stove, a mattress, and a dresser. And there was no door, only a sheet that divided the room from the steep staircase and the laundry room. No matter how much wood I would place in that stove in the corner where the bed was, it was always ice cold, while the rest of the room was unbearably hot. On the ceiling was an exposed heating duct that ran the length of the room, and on it hung a hand drum and a hanger. My boyfriend left me to run errands, and since I didn't know the family so well, I just decided to stay downstairs. The drum and hanger began to sway, and I went upstairs to see who was stomping on the floor so loud, and at the top of the stairs I saw that the house was empty. I got midway down the staircase, and something pinched the sheet and pulled it outwards towards me, and I could see where something's fingers held the sheet. I ran screaming up the stairs. Later I found out that very room of the basement was the scene of a murder of a young Lumi woman, which occurred in the early 1970s, and no one was ever prosecuted. Wow. That's so tragic. Oh, dear God. Someone needs to cross that poor soul over. Sorry about that. I had to cough. All right, the next one is coming from North Carolina. Sorry, throat gurgles. I make lots of sounds. This story takes place when I was maybe 4 years old. I was raised by my paternal grandmother, my great aunt, Bet, and her daughter, Lena, who was my grown cousin. Growing up in that old cotton mill house, I didn't have a room of my own, but what the hell? I'm sure we've read this one before. I'll read it again, but would take turns sleeping with the three adults. This happened one summer night when I was sleeping in my cousin Lena's room, which we also called the back room. The rest of the house was in a square shape with 4 rooms that opened directly into each other with no hallway between. The back room was an extra room, half room that opened off the living room and was long and narrow. Apparently it had been added onto the house later, and there was one big window to the left of the bed, and beside it was a wardrobe. This particular night was warm, so the window was up, and it had a screen on it, and lying there in the dim light of a street lamp, I heard a rustling sound outside the window. I looked and saw coming through the window, right through the closed screen, the figure of a black imp about 12 inches tall. I could not make out any of the features because of the dim light, but I could plainly see the outline of a pointed hat on its head. This little figure climbed through the window, walked back and forth for a while on the floor at the foot of the bed, and then disappeared right through the closed wardrobe door. I never saw it again, but I saw plenty of other unusual things in that old house. I suspect that wardrobe might have been the site of some sort of portal. On another occasion, I walked into that room at night after my cousin was already in bed and saw what appeared to be a shadow of a moving skeleton on the wall above the headboard of the bed. And that scared me pretty bad, and I didn't want to sleep in that room anymore after that. I know we've read this one before. I don't remember why or when. Maybe even was recently. I don't recall. It's possible it's been duplicated across different sites. So I do apologize. But I don't know if that really sounds like an imp though. It sounds like something small, almost gnome or pixie-ish actually. But imps are kind of the forebearers of demons, or many people believe that they are servants of demonic presences or beings, and they can be heralds for a coming demonic infestation, and can be very dangerous in that regard. But they don't look like people. They look like little creatures. It'd be about, generally, most of the reports I've heard is they're about the size of a average sized house cat, but they would look more creature like and maybe bipedal, maybe quadrupedal, but they would have really grotesque features, or at least silhouette. You may or may not be able to see the actual creatures, but they won't look like a cat. They won't look like something we may be familiar with. So. But that what they're describing does not sound like an imp in the traditional sense. Now, it could be. I suppose they can be whatever shape or form they choose to be, but that does sound more of a pixie kind of shape or form. So, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they experienced there, but it doesn't seem to be impish to me. Maybe just by virtue of it being diminutive, it could be impish, but I don't think it's actual imp. But interesting story nonetheless. Portals. Maybe that's where where it came up, was when I was doing research on portals and stuff for that one show that we did. I think that's what it was. I think that's where that story came up before, because of the mention of a portal there having to do with that wardrobe. And that was also where we talked about possible ways of identifying portals with the use of a pendulum, for instance, carrying around a pendulum of some form or another, and watching for abnormal motion, which could indicate the flow of the portal. And if it's clockwise, circular motion of the pendulum, it means it's a portal that enters into our world. If it's counterclockwise, it's a portal that exits our world, and they cautioned against never closing the ones that exit. You only close the ones that enter. So, and that could be done energetically through prayer, through ritual, whatever. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, of course, you can do some research and find out a bunch more. But I thought that was an interesting show. It was a lot of fun to talk about that stuff, since the show is called The Paranormal Portal. All right, so on to the next one. No calls. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right. What the hell's going on? Did we lose connection to YouTube? Are you guys still connected? No, didn't say pimp, cha-cha, said imp. Although pimps can take many forms too, as I understand it. But yeah. We're still streaming? We're okay? Okay, that's weird, because the YouTube meter for the stream just went down to one person watching right now, so the count is really strange. I don't know. YouTube's kind of flaky. Good. I'm glad we're still here. Okay. Not sure what's going on with that, but that's what it says. I'm glad you all are still here with me, because it says there's only one of you. So either there's still all of you, or you guys have an incredible multi-personality cooking here. But yeah, I don't know. Spooks in the house. Well, there might be YouTube spooks. There's always spooks in my house. I believe by virtue of doing a paranormal show, I get a lot of visitors, but that is what it is. I mean, nothing really dark, I don't think. But I don't know. I do regular cleansings, though, as well. So there's another story. This one's coming from California. It's a bit longer, but let's get into that. I don't know why there's only one of you here, but as far as YouTube's concerned, there's only one of you. All right, so let's see what's going on in California. It says, when the story is written is October 22nd, 2008, and yesterday was a bit weird, but today takes the cake. I returned home today from dropping my daughter off at high school. I'm 34 and have no mental issues and have no issues of any kind. I am very skeptical of anything out of the norm, but today proves me absolutely wrong. I went upstairs and was opening up the double doors of our master suite to allow some air to come into the room, and I noticed a man out of the corner of my eye, and there is no reason a man should be in my home. I yelled out a few profanities and started for my pistol, but thought I should let him out. I should not let him out of my sight. I would just go to hand against the intruder. He moved so swiftly and got to the top of my stairs in less than a second. At the top of my stairs, there was a mirror on the wall. He walked towards the mirror, but did not stop at the mirror. He did not look into the mirror. Out of the corner of his eye, fixed his hair as if he were just checking that his hair was still in place, and then looked back at me. It was as if he was looking through me with a huge smile, as if I was not even there, and then walked to the door on his right and entered the room. The way he entered the room was very different, though. The door was wide, but he sort of acted like he was walking through a tight squeeze and stooped his head down as if he was going to hit his head. And there's plenty of room both ways, and he didn't have to do this. Here's the weirdest part of all of this. The reason I did not chase him was that I almost passed out when I saw his face in the mirror. It was my father-in-law. He passed away in March of this year. It was him, but it was him with hair, and him when he was about 30, I would say. And I'm still in tears for some reason, and I'm a big man with no feelings. For such things, but I am put back by this and not sure what to do at this point. I will say that things have been a bit different around here lately. Yesterday, my wife and I spoke of him still being around, since a few things had happened that could not be explained. Early yesterday, the TV turned on by itself, and we smelled cigarette smoke, and he loved to smoke. We've smelled cigarette smoke a few times over the past few months, and I've even had the feeling of things moving around in the corner of my eye. So yesterday, after all these things happened, my wife said, Dad, if you're here, give me a sign that you're here. And while the words were still coming out of her mouth, the shower turned on for maybe 15 seconds. That's strange. Oh, wow, we got a call. I'll just finish this. I'm not sure how or why this is happening, why he came back and just walked through the house and looked back and past me with no interaction. I would sure like to know if anyone has any ideas on what he might be doing or why he would show up, but look by me as if I wasn't even there. There was no interaction when I first cursed at him, and there's no reaction from him at all. Has anyone had an experience similar to this? I did see a small boy when I was young that was looking at the pictures on my wall in my mom's house when I grew up. I believe it was my dad, since there was a picture of him in a sailor suit, just like the little boy was wearing, and that was 30 years ago, though. Any input is appreciated, and I'd like to try and understand what's going on and why he wouldn't let me move on, or wouldn't want to move on. Can you move on to the afterlife and still present yourself? Yes, you can. Sorry, that was me saying yes, you can. Hold on. Getting froggy. All right, I got a call here, so let's get to this. This is coming from Australia. Welcome to the show. Hello?
G'day.
G'day. Who are we talking
How you
to?
going? It's Aussie.
Ozzy, good to hear from you. I was going to say good to see you, but I can't see you, but I can hear you. How's things down under?
Pretty warm.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just quickly calling in because, as far as I'm saying, it is paranormal. I experienced deja vu over the weekend
Oh, go on, tell us.
because thanks to some people, I was able to stay there over the week at a motel over the weekend, and I was looking around the place like, I swear I've been here before, but I don't remember when. It's like, when the hell did I come here? But it felt like I had been there before. Like, I didn't know when, but it felt like it.
Wow.
And I wasn't able to shake it all weekend. It's like, what the hell?
So it wasn't a new hotel. It was really old or something or what?
It wasn't old, but it wasn't new.
Okay. But would it have been older than you?
I don't know, but it's just the layout of it. Like, it's like, for some reason I know down there's a hole. It's like, hey, I've never been here before, so how do I know there's a hole down there? And yet there was.
Wow.
And yeah, I knew where the pool was.
Oh, cool.
Like, I knew where pretty much everything was, and it's just like, I don't remember being here ever. And yet, I got the feeling that I had been there. It
That's
was strange, and it was just like I got to tell that to everyone.
yeah. That's very
Paranormal portals.
very powerful. Very powerful. And nothing else weird happened, just a familiarity that like you knew the place.
It was just one of those places where um, it's like I don't know. I could have had a premonition that I was going to be there, but I didn't remember having a dog with me at the time. It was a premonition,
Right.
but I do remember all the noises from the pub. I was like, yeah, for some reason I remember all that stuff. It
Wow.
was like I had done it all before. That type of deja vu.
Oh, that's really powerful. That's kind of creepy though, huh?
Creepy. It was like, what the? And I did say a few choice words when I first initially thought of it. I was like, what the?
Yeah, that's
I'm
really
trying
cool.
hard not to say them. Put it that way.
Yeah, I appreciate the restraint. That's good. Man, that's cool. That's really cool. I think those kind of experiences are really powerful, brother.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, still gives me the heebie-jeebies now.
How is the fire situation down there now? Is the rains come and everything getting cool?
well, well, the fire situation near me at the moment should be much better, but the only downside about the rain is that it makes everywhere slippery because most of the area where the bushfires are is clay.
Oh,
It's
sure.
like a clay type soil.
Sure.
So it
Okay.
makes it really slippery and muddy and sort of tricky for the firefighters because they can't get the vehicles in there.
Oh man. Wow. Well, let's hope the rains continue and then that the fires get put out just without having to have vehicles and firemen doing it.
Well, thanks to the Canadian, American, New Zealand firefighters for coming over here and all the army people for help pitching out.
Yeah, no
So thank
kidding.
you all for that.
Well, our prayers are with you guys, brother, and keep us posted, okay?
Oh, well done, mate.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Aussie. It's great to hear from you, man.
Yep.
All right. Good night.
Right. You know.
That's really powerful. I know those feelings of deja vu. I've experienced it at least once before in my life. I think a couple of times as I'm thinking back. But just being somewhere and somehow you know the place without having known it. And what is that? Is that a past life memory? Is it just being kind of plugged into the whole consciousness of the building in some way, or what does it mean? It's really creepy when that stuff happens, but I think it's creepy in a cool way. It just reminds us there's something so much more. And that's what I love about the paranormal. And I say it a lot, but I really mean it sincerely. I love the paranormal because it reminds us there is so much more. There is so much more than just 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then having weekends to have fun. I mean, that kind of life it's sterile and dry, and it's just begs for some kind of insertion of something amazing, and that's what the paranormal is for me. It's like it reaffirms so much, and it's for many people it reaffirms their faith because these are demonstrations of a supernatural field or force around us, and sometimes it manifests in the form of creepy things moving around and odd things happening. Sometimes it manifests as apparitions of loved ones, and if those things are possible, then it's the also the affirmation that life continues, and that life is not so fragile. It's not so dependent upon a physical shell, and I think that that's a wonderful thing. So I really love when you guys share your experiences, whether it's call-ins to the show or emails, or if people are that have come on and been guests on the podcast. It's just been an incredibly amazing experience to do this show and to hear these things firsthand and to kind of live through your guys' experience myself. I think that that's absolutely powerful. So, oh, cool. I just got an email back from a very well known gentleman who I'm trying to get on the show to be a guest. So I will keep you guys posted as that develops. But that's another one I'm really excited about. And today has just been an incredible day for contacts. I also made contact with another guest we've had on before, a really, really well known guest who's going to be returning to the show. And more to come as that gets all ironed out. I'll keep you guys posted, but there's a lot of cool things happening, and I'm really thrilled about it. And it's exciting. It's so exciting. Let's see what we're doing here. I got to check the clock because I know how time moves in the portal, and it's very strange. But all right, we got a time for more. Let's do some more. Some more stories. This one's coming out of California. It's a very short one. It says, lately, for the past month or so, I've had visions of demonic faces, names of people, snippets of newspaper articles, and hearing my name being called. The most recent thing I found out is that a word I see in my vision, usually within the day or two, the next day, I see that word. The most recent one is Faye, F-A-Y. I don't know a Faye or anyone named Faye, and the only thing I can come up with is that's a name I liked for a child. And I have discussed this with my fiance, and recent things I have not brought up to her. I don't want her to be frightened with. She knows of my past in these things, and I guess this person must have a past. But back to get on track. On Tuesday night at 11 p.m., I went out to my mom's to get a backpack for her, and when I looked into the car window, I was confronted by two spirits. They looked at me, eyes covered, mouth open, showing their fangs, and grabbed me. So how I felt them, I don't know how, because reflected spirits I fully don't understand. Now I have bruises on both shoulders right next to my neck where one of them grabbed me, and I believe the other grabbed my legs, and now I can't walk straight, and I suffer from pain in them. All I know is they wanted something, and it has to do with my visions. I don't know what they want from me. All I know is I am stuck with this, and I need help. Someone, anyone, please help me. I don't know how to stop them. And again, this is from 2008. It's hard to read stories like this because I would love to be able to get in touch with this person and, try to help them either, through myself or some of the wonderful people who have volunteered their services to help people dealing with tragic and traumatic paranormal things. But I sure hope this person found help. That's got to be absolutely terrifying. All right, so let's go to the next one, and this one is coming from Iowa. And this one's pretty short as well. And says, I remember when I was 13 and I had my first ghost experience. It couldn't have come at a better or worse time. It was just me and my dog Zeus. Like most Thursday nights, I was at home, either watching a movie or surfing the internet. I can't, if I can remember. It was probably 8 at night, and I was in my room on the computer when I suddenly heard a crash somewhere in the house. Well, I jumped up and ran to my door and shut it. I'm very paranoid. But like most people, I had to figure out what it was. I opened my door an inch at a time and looked into the hallway. Well, I just scared myself more. You see, I left the lights off, but I built up the courage to go out. I looked down the stairs and saw nothing except my dog. Weird. He didn't even bark at all. Well, I sighed with relief. My dog usually barked when something was there, but what could have made the noise? I tried to remember where it came from and concluded that it came from my brother's room. So I crept down the hallway slowly until finally I reached his room and I looked inside, flipped on the lights, and saw that his trophies had fallen on the ground. What was scaring me was his trophies resided on his desk, and his desk was untouched. Nothing was broken. I didn't want to find out any more. I ran back to my room, but before I did, I stopped about a foot from the door, and the cold air froze me into place. This was not normal for my house, for it was summer, and I called my dog up to my room just to make me feel better, and as soon as he did, I went into my room and waited for my mom to come home. I was feeling really drowsy about 15 minutes later, and I was about to shut my eyes when my door slammed shut. I tried to let out a noise, any noise, but I just couldn't. I was struck with fear, and then the door opened slightly, just slightly, as if someone was looking inside. Then it shut again. Oh, that's horrible. For another hour, I sat there just praying for my mom to come home. Nobody was in my house, and my dog didn't even bark. Yeah, that's horrible. That is just horrible. Ugh. Why? So this is not common for the house. And these are the events that I think are really interesting because I do believe that some places can be haunted. Like, obviously we hear about that all the time. And that's like the oldest story in the book is the haunted house. But I do believe that there are also these vagrant spirits. They just wander. And maybe they just choose a house and start checking things out. Maybe they choose a house and start just freaking people out. And it can be a day or two or a week, and then they'll move on to somewhere else. And they just, I don't know. There's something to that though, because there's so many times we run across stories of, nothing ever happened in all the years I lived here until one day, boom. And then there's this horrible series of really intense, quick events, and then it's back to just suddenly flatlining. And what would that be? So the only thing I can think is there's just some spirits can wander and they wander in and out and they just kind of check things out as they go, I guess. I don't know. Very, very strange. There's so many questions with all this paranormal stuff. And, I don't think I could do this show for a million years and ever find the answers I'm looking for. But I just find it so interesting. There's so many things at work all around us all the time, which are not physical. And there's worlds that we exist around and we are not aware of. And these events are when those worlds are surfacing. Those are when maybe our dimensions kind of collide at these points. I don't know. As if they're these dimensional bubbles and sometimes they run into each other and there's this crossover weirdness that happens. And I don't know. It's just wild speculation. I'm no expert, but there's some strange stuff going on, ladies and gentlemen. But as long as there'll always be a portal to discuss it because that's what we do. Let me pull up another one or two. Let's see what we got here because we still got time, and that's what I love. I love starting the shows. I really don't like ending them. Let's see. This one's pretty short. This one's coming from Pennsylvania. It says, one day I was working at a local hospital, and it was really early in the morning, and I can't remember the time or date, but I was walking down the hallway, and I was taking a big brute containers we used to put trash in, and as I was just about to leave the one-door area where I seen a big white ball It was really awesome. It was nothing frightening about it, as I knew where it was going, because it ran away from me when I got to it, and it just seemed to disappear around the corner. Now, I'm not too sure what it was. It could have just been dust, right? No, probably not. A big white ball is dust. I don't think dust coalesces into big balls and floats around, does it? But he said it might be dust, right? But I've never seen dust fly that quick and running away from you. It also has a distinct pattern of staying right below the ceiling, as if it were trapped. I could also tell it wasn't dust by the bright aura it gave. Why are they saying dust then? It was white with gold, so other kinds of particles were in it, and there were mirrors that could reflect the light off the beams, but I have never seen anything like this. And at first, when I saw it, it just stood as if it were waiting for something or someone to follow it. I never did get a chance to see it again, but I would love to, on account I thought it was trying to say something. The temperature was cold that day and the halls were warm, but it led to outside of the building, and I'm still not sure what it could have been. That's really strange, but dust? I would love it if dust just got into balls and you could just clean it out of the air instead of all over everything. I don't know. I think this person's just trying to throw out some mundane explanations, maybe, for the sake of writing the story and not wanting to say ghost. But if you're going to submit a ghost story and to a ghost forum, then you're probably okay just to say it's some kind of orb and ghostly spirit. People are here reading these things because they believe in the phenomena, I would think. Okay, this is a really long one. There's no way in hell we got time for this one because this is about a half-hour story all by itself at least. So I'll get another one up here. See, pull up another short one or a medium-sized one. If I can find one. Wow, two really long ones. That one's not quite as long. But that's about a 10-minute story all by itself too, at least. Let's try the next one. We'll just leave those open. And that one's okay. I think I'll just read this one. This is coming from Massachusetts, ladies and gentlemen. It says, while on vacation last year at 2007, my wife and I went to Ashfield, Massachusetts to visit her family and just relax. We took our two pups, Sapper and Kiki, along for the trip as well. And we drove from Florida to Massachusetts camping in the state parks and forests along the way. It was a long drive, which my wife decided to take her Honda Civic instead of my Dodge Ram 1500 for the trip up, but we managed to pack all our gear, rifle, food, and the dogs, who at the time were still very much puppies, into the small car. It was cramped, but in some way it made sense, being as less gas money was used driving in the small car instead of the big truck. We camped in the mountains of her grandfather's property. The property was massive, containing apple orchards and hills as far as the eye could see. The town is a small town. It's a mere street lined with mom and pop stores and a small pizza place where we ate most days, and when canned food and beer was not the breakfast choice. Down the road from my wife's grandfather's house was a small old cemetery, which we made it a point to visit. And while at the cemetery, we began walking and observing old stones and just admiring the work done to such headstones, when we came upon an old stone almost hidden by time. We couldn't make out the name or dates on the stone, but its age was older than most, I would think, in that area. While moving some of the dirt and grass from the stone, the tree above made a knocking sound, very much out of the ordinary. I stopped what I was doing and looked up to see if it were a bird or just a branch making the sound, and oddly enough, there was little or no wind. The tree was almost bare, and there was no bird or limb making the noise. My wife said out loud, "It's okay, we're not here to disturb you. We're just visiting." The tree knocked a second time, and the wind was almost non-existent, and the knocking sounded as if it came from the center of the tree itself. And I distinctly remember feeling like I had butterflies in my stomach, and it was a little unnerving, but not really frightening. We continued on our walk, but my mind stayed with the tree. I'd never thought I'd hear anything like that in the middle of the day with so few clouds in the sky, a very calm wind blowing ever so often, but very gentle when it did. The dogs didn't act strange or really show any signs to care for that matter, so I figured whatever it was at least a positive energy. We continued to walk to the cemetery and had no further out of the ordinary experiences. As we began to walk to the car, we made it a point to walk by the tree again, and we made our way down the compressed earth path to the old headstone that sat next to the barren tree. While walking past the tree, my wife said goodbye audibly, and the tree made no noise this time. We paused, half expecting something to happen, and we looked around for a few seconds, waiting, but nothing did happen. As soon as we began to walk away, the tree knocked twice. We stopped cold in our tracks, waiting for anything else, but it never came. Again, I observed the dogs, and they still made no noise or showed any signs, so we returned to the car and loaded up and went on our way. The rest of the time we spent in Massachusetts was of the norm. We had an encounter with a bear a couple of nights later. It was the first time I'd felt that my Winchester Model 94 chambered in 30-30 Winchesters was not enough to stop him. But luckily he got spooked when I asked if he wanted a beer. So I figured I was on his territory really, but he must have been a wino because he went towards the blueberry bushes instead of accepting a Sam Adams. Maybe he was a Miller kind of bear. I know it sounds odd, but me being from Florida, my experience with bears is limited, non-existent. So someone told me to make noise and that'll scare it away. It does work. It's just sad that in the heat of the moment, all I could think was to offer it a beer. I guess the Discovery Channel will not be calling me anytime soon for a documentary on bear behavior. But you might be qualified to speak a beer. All right. Interesting. The knocking tree. Huh. All right. Well, there is that, ladies and gentlemen. And that is our show for tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, help us if you can. The links are in the description if you want to pitch in and help the Paranormal Portal. But if the best you can do is just recommend the show and let people know about it, that is just amazing too. So please don't feel compelled if you're not able to. We appreciate all your love and support and encouragement. It really means the world to us. So that's going to wrap it up for us. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I hope you felt entertained. That's always the always the goal. And so I'm not sure I always hit the mark, but maybe. But anyway, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. And I will be back tomorrow with more of the bedtime stories. So I love you guys. Have a great night and sweet dreams.